Welcome back to the channel. So, another common question that I got in my DM is, can I still buy multifamily real estate without owning any real estate? So, this is a common question that I get a lot, especially from a lot of my students is, hey, Steven, I don't own any real estate. Do I got to start in single family home first before going to multifamily? Do I need to be a real estate agent? Do I need to be a real estate broker? Do I need to be a loan officer? Do I need to have shadowed somebody for, 3 to 4 years? And to be honest, my answer is no. You don't need to have any experience in real estate and still buy multifamily real estate. But there's a huge caveat that I would like to add. So the answer is yes, you don't need any experience. And I'm speaking from personal experience here. I'm not a real estate agent. I'm not a real estate broker. I'm not a loan officer. I work full time as a pharmacist in a hospital, as a pharmacy director in a hospital, a very busy hospital. So I have nothing to do with real estate. And a lot of people ask me, do I need to own single family before I buy multifamily? And while a lot of people think that way, and I'm guilty of this too, a lot of you may know, I start off in single family homes, house hacking single family homes, and I bought, I think, 4 single family homes before I dived into multifamily. And looking back, honestly, I didn't need to own single family homes. I only started there because that's what I was comfortable with, right? Like, let's be honest here. A lot of us, myself included, grew up in a single family home that our parents owned. Some of us may have been fortunate where our parents maybe want to upgrade their house and they lived in the new house and they kept the old house as rental property and rented that out. But what is it typically? It's a single family home, and it's kind of like the same concept where single most people are just comfortable with single family homes because that's all they know and what they see, and they just feel more comfortable in it. But I will say, you don't need to start with single family, and you can jump straight to multifamily. But the key is you need to make sure that you're constantly educating yourself about multifamily, right? So you can watch podcasts, YouTube channels like mine. I talk a lot about multifamily. There's a lot of free information out there. And then on top of that, you can do courses. You can check out my course. I teach people how to do multifamily. I host weekly Q&A sessions that are completely open to the public. Just send me your email if you want to be invited. And those are uploaded onto my YouTube channel, which has my students as well as non-students. And we just all want to be there to learn and ask questions and to build a community. And another key thing is you want to surround yourself with people who are trying to buy apartment complexes and who already own apartment complexes. And believe me, if you surround yourself in a group of 10 people who are all trying to buy apartment complexes or own apartment complexes, you will think that it's very abnormal that you do not own any apartment complexes at all. Like for me, to be honest, if you asked me 3 years ago, if I would own 90 units of apartment complexes like 3 years later, I would say you're crazy because that's impossible. Yet only the rich own apartment complexes. I literally know not one single person who owns an apartment complex. None of my friends, none of my family, none of my friends' parents. I know nobody that owns apartments, so I automatically assume that only the rich people can own it. But once you start to surround yourself with people trying to buy apartment complexes and who own it, they'll start to normalize the conversation and make it seem normal to own an apartment complex. And that is an environment that you want to surround yourself with, right? And another thing that kind of hit home to me is even when you learn through YouTube, through a course, let's just say on a scale of 10 of how much you learn in theory, so by consuming a bunch of content, videos, podcasts, out of learning about multifamily, that's a 2 out of 10. If you own real estate yourself, apartment complex yourself, that's a 5 out of 10 in terms of the learning scale. When you make mistakes in multifamily yourself or learn from other people's mistakes, that's a 10 out of 10 on the learning curve. Just keep that in perspective. I know a lot of people who've been telling me, Steven, I've been trying to research about real estate for the past 10 years and I've taken zero action. And literally in that same time frame, in 5 years, half the years, in 5 years, I scaled to 90 units, and you haven't bought your first single family home yet. So that is the cost of inaction and not surrounding yourself with action takers who are striving towards the same goal as you. So for me, once I surrounded myself in a community where everybody around me was literally buying apartment complexes, number one, it made me encourage that it's possible as long as I follow the system and be consistent at it. So I teach a system, right? You can learn it through my YouTube channel for free. It's a little bit unorganized in my YouTube channel, and I jump around a bit. But if you want a more organized, structured A through Z format, then my course might be a good fit for you, right? But a lot of the content out there in my channel, to be honest, it's free. It's out there. And like I said, you can learn from people doing it and making mistakes. And it's just very nice to learn from somebody who's one step ahead of you, right? Like, for example, I'm just one step ahead of most of my students. I own, 2 apartments and one mobile home park. And a lot of my students are trying to buy their first apartment. It might seem intimidating that I own 90 units, but honestly, I'm just one step ahead of you. I got these in the past, year and a half. So I'm just exactly one step ahead. And from there, you can learn from my mistakes that I share and expedite your own journey, right? Because remember, back to the example, just through theory, 2 out of 10, by doing it, 5 out of 10, by learning from your mistakes or someone else's mistakes, it's 10 out of 10. I made so many mistakes that I'm learning from. It's going to be ingrained in me for the rest of my life. And I'm hoping to kind of share that. So, aside from that long rant I went on, the moral of the story is it is possible to jump straight into multifamily without any real estate experience, without owning any real estate, without having zero knowledge. But make sure that you surround yourself with action takers, learn theories, learn concepts, and learn from other people's mistakes as well as your own mistakes. And you learn by doing. There's nothing around that. There's no easy magic pill. You just have to do it through volume. It's just like working out. You have to work out every day over multiple years. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And I have to remind myself that every time. Every time I get impatient. I'll be honest. I thought by now with 90 units, I could make so much money that I can leave my W-2. But I probably have to wait 3 to 5 more years. At that point, once my 90 units are stabilized, I have the option to leave. But I need to be patient. It's a marathon, not a sprint. So do it in a way that's sustainable over a long period of time, and you will be successful, right? Like, I'm in my 30s. By the time I'm 60, I'd be doing real estate for 30 years. And if you understand exponential growth, it's going to start off here and skyrocket, especially in my 60s, right? And I'm doing this without any partners. So this is the key message, is that you don't need real estate experience, but surround yourself with people who are in real estate, who are actively buying real estate, and specifically apartment complexes. So hopefully you found this answer valuable, and hopefully it inspires you to take action and to surround yourself with a like-minded community. Once again, if you want to join my weekly Q&A calls, just drop your email in the comments. My email is also in the description. Just shoot me an email and I'll add you. It's every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and the sessions are uploaded and recorded onto YouTube. But I encourage you to come on and ask questions, because that's how you learn. You need to come ask questions and learn. So once again, hope to see you in the next video, and thank you so much.